Ask away if you got any. Who's got questions? Please keep in mind that everything is slower than usual. More and more school districts around the country are canceling school this week through next week and the following week, etc. All these services are overloaded with users. So if something's not working, refresh, clear your cookies, clear your cache, restart the browser, try it again later, etc. I'm going to write that down right here. Remember, services are seeing peak usage between 11 and 4. So if you're trying to do any work during that time frame, it's probably going to be really slow. It might even be really slow right now, just trying to follow me live. So please keep in mind that these services are overloaded with users. Even things like Khan Academy. Khan Academy has been around forever. Khan Academy has thousands of students accessing it daily normally, and now we have to take that number and quadruple it, probably even more, to take into account all these districts using these online services now. So, what is the stream for? I stream every day. So just please keep that in mind. So if Edpuzzle is running really slow, that's why. Try refreshing. So let's do some remedies. Quick fixes. Refresh. Clear cookies and cache. Make sure you're using Google Chrome. Try restarting your browser. You don't have to restart the whole computer. That's not going to help you get to these services any faster. But you could restart your browser. So, just keep that in mind. Those all help. If you don't know how to clear your cookies or your cache, look it up. It depends on, so like every single browser, it might be in a different place. If you use a PC or a Mac, it's going to look a little bit differently. So for me, I know I can just go to my preferences under my browser and clear my cookies and cache from there. It might be in a different spot for you, but you can Google it. How to clear cookies and cache on X browser on a PC. Okay, but these are quick fixes. These are not guaranteed to work because... remember, these services are seeing peak usage between 11 and 4. So, keep that in mind. All 0 of you tuning in right now. All right? No grading updates. No AP updates. AP updates I should have on Friday. So hopefully I'll be able to clarify anything about the exam. But I honestly, if I had to guess, I'm not going to have the ability to answer many questions. Because they'll probably just give us a little bit of an idea of the formatting. Just like how many FRQs and stuff like that. But in terms of what it's going to look like and Like we've never had this situation before, so we're gonna do our best. Those of you just tuning in, if you have a question, just feel free to text me on Remind. That's fine. A lot of these online services, so we're talking Edpuzzle, Khan Academy, Castle Learning, any tool that your teachers are using for you that's online, arguably even Canvas, though Canvas not as much, I don't think that requires a lot of data to run, is seeing significant usage between 11 and 4. Because 11 is probably close to or around when you guys wake up. And they try to get that work done between like lunchtime and early evening so they have the night off to themselves. So if you text me and a video's not working or something's really slow, there's not much I can do. The biggest piece of advice I would probably have, honestly, is try it again later in the day or try to do it earlier in the morning. If you only have time right now, like I have to get it done right now, I am babysitting later, I have this to do later, I have that to do later, then try any of these quick fixes. Refreshing the browser sometimes works really well. Clearing the cookies and the cache in the browser will sometimes work. Google Chrome tends to have the least errors. So for example, AP Classroom, at least for me, does not work in Safari. It does not work in Firefox. It only works in Google Chrome. So if I'm not using Google Chrome and I try to access AP Classroom, it like literally doesn't let me into AP Classroom. It just sends me back to like the AP Central generic College Board page. So make sure you're using Google Chrome. And then sometimes if refreshing doesn't work, closing the browser entirely and restarting it might work. But honestly, we've been seeing the best results right here. Using Chrome and clearing the cookies and cache. If you Google or look up how to clear cookies and cache on your browser, there's a way for you to do it and keep all your passwords stored so you don't have to worry about resetting all your passwords. That's what I do personally. I still keep my passwords stored. It just clears out everything else. But those are quick fixes. Again, if we have a chemistry question or any other generic question, feel free to let me know. Are you watching live right now, Alex? Because I'll just say it here instead of typing it to you. We can turn this into a mini science thing. I'll see if he's watching, but if not, how do I fix the fact that I'm consistently waking up much later than usual throughout this time off? That's going to require some discipline. Honestly, it's probably not the worst thing. Regardless, I don't think if I tell you to just set an alarm for when you would normally wake up, I don't think that's worth it. I don't think anyone's doing that. I don't think even teachers are doing that. You're going to have to readjust to school when we go back anyway. What I would say is give yourself a little bit of discipline and maybe set an alarm earlier than 2 o'clock. I'm going to guess if you're waking up in the afternoon, which many of you probably are, you're probably going to bed really late. If you're going to bed at a normal time, let's define normal as between 9 o'clock and 11, and you're still waking up past 11 o'clock the next day, like you're getting well over 12 hours of sleep, I would talk with your parents and make sure you're doing okay mentally and that you don't have an underlying medical condition that would require you to go to the doctor. Because I think if you're getting more than 12 hours of sleep consistently and you're waking up still like not feeling that well rested after numerous hours of sleep every single day, we might have some sort of like, maybe we're just feeling a little anxious. Maybe we're seeing, we're feeling overwhelmed. We're stressed about school and this lack of structure, and you're not getting a lot of social time. Maybe we need a little mental talk. It could be as simple as that. But I would talk with your parents if you're getting if you feel like you're getting a lot of sleep and you're not feeling well rested, or if you're consistently sleeping for like more than 12 hours. Because even scientifically, for a teenager, the specific amount of time you should be sleeping is probably a bit more than a full-grown adult, but not like 12 hours. The issue with teenagers is that your circadian rhythm is all wacky because of all the changes your body is going through from as soon as you hit puberty, basically. So it's totally normal to not feel tired as a teenager until like midnight or 1 in the morning, or some time that's vastly different than, let's say, someone in their 20s or someone in their 30s. That's normal. And if you're waking up really late because you're going to bed at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, then that is also normal because you're going to sleep as long as you can based on when you went to bed. What I would say is if you want to wake up earlier in the day, and again, I'm not recommending you just set a time like for an alarm based on when you would normally go to school, but if you really want to try to make an effort to wake up, let's say at 10, then go to bed earlier than you have been and set an alarm and give yourself some routine. When you wake up at 10, if you feel like now that we've done this for 2 weeks, you know how much schoolwork you're getting on average per day, maybe wake up at 10, hit YouTube up, and find a great home workout plan, or go for a walk or a run. There's nothing preventing you from going outside. It's just that you want to maintain social distancing. So don't run into a crowded area, which hopefully there are none of those happening. Now, if you're not a runner or you hate running, there are a lot of apps you can download on your phone that train you to run properly. So, what does that mean? It's not going to work on your form. You'll have to talk to someone about that, someone that's not me. But there are apps out there to make sure that you're not just going to wake up tomorrow having never really been a runner and just run 4 miles. That's not the way to do it. You're going to destroy your knees and your back, and you're not going to feel great. Even if you don't feel pain, you're not going to feel great. And that's a bad idea. But there are apps like there, and there are programs out there like Couch to 5K and 5K Runner, 10K Runner, etc. that are either free or a few bucks, and you can Google them if you don't want to use the app, and they will program into the workout when you should be running and when you should be walking. And all that happens is over time is the ratio of walking to running becomes less in the side of walking and more in the side of running. And what a lot of people don't realize is that working out will give you more energy throughout the day because you're building your body healthily. And sometimes that'll help you drink less coffee and wake up not feeling like garbage, etc. So I think we're going to do a lot of self-reflecting with this time off. And I think you're starting to fall into somewhat of a structure, at least somewhat of an understanding, let's say, of how much work your teachers are giving you per day. And I think we need to find some hobbies that are not staying up until 3 a.m. playing video games. So, yes, student that just texted me, that would explain it. If you're going to bed at a late hour, you're going to wake up later in the day, and based on the time you went to bed and the time you woke up, if you woke up at the same time today, you got about 9 to 10 hours of sleep, which for a teenager is probably on the normal side. That's where most teenagers want to be. And obviously that's always going to lead to discussion about when does school start and why does it start so early, and there's reasons for that, and it's a pain to work around, but teenagers on average need more sleeps than adults and fully developed people. And if you're waking up late because you're going to bed late and you're getting a normal amount of sleep, let's say between 8 to 10 hours, then you don't have to worry about it. If you're waking up really late and you still feel exhausted and you got more than 10 hours of sleep, then we need to start working on some mental health stuff. We got to start working on finding some hobbies, finding some physical activity, and try to talk you out of whatever is getting you down. But would highly recommend working out. There are now numerous YouTube videos out there on home workout plans because people are stuck. Gyms are closed. But they're out there. Before gyms existed, people trained somehow, and body weight exercises were always the way people trained. So Give those a shot. And make sure you start at the beginner level. Even if you're like an athlete who goes to the gym regularly, make sure you always start at the beginner level and get used to what your body can handle. Because you'll be surprised if you do a push-up and you do, 20 with really good form. And I mean like your elbows are in the right position. You go all the way down and come all the way back up in, let's say, like 2 seconds per side. So it takes you 2 seconds to go down, 2 seconds to go up. That chest barely grazes the floor, and you really slowly try to bring yourself up, and you squeeze every muscle that should be activated during a push-up. You feel it in your back. You feel it in your triceps. You feel it in your shoulders. You feel it in your chest. And you'd be surprised how hard doing 20 push-ups might be. Maybe even 10, maybe even 5. Doesn't matter. I would always start at the beginner level. And when I say beginner, I mean an exercise where the movement and everything that you're doing, you can do with good form. I wouldn't say there's a beginner amount of reps or sets you should be doing. Everyone's like, do 3 sets, 10 reps, etc. I would say if you're doing like a body weight plan, you should be going to failure. So if only doing 5 at a time is as many push-ups as you can do with great form, not shaking a lot, chest is grazing the ground, your elbows aren't pushing out, you're not in pain, then maybe you need to do 5 sets of 5 reps. That doesn't matter to me as long as it's with good form. Advanced people, if you've like worked out before, you've developed those muscles completely, all your stabilizing muscles are really strong, you can do more intermediate or advanced varieties of workouts that are still all body weight. So maybe you can do like wall push-ups or handstand push-ups or stuff like that. Point is there's programs out there that you can find, and getting physically in shape is just as good as in helping your mental health. And then obviously like eating right and doing some activities that are not playing video games and watching Netflix for 10 hours at a time. Any other questions before I head out? All right, I'm heading out. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you later.